So Erasmus Grant, which is one of the most competitive scholarships globally, you are one of its few recipients. How difficult was it, and how many process and rounds you had to go through? How was the whole journey of applying to Erasmus Plus?
Yes, Erasmus Plus is a very interesting scholarship because you get to study in different countries along with your study program for which you are abroad, and you also get paid for it. So
Hello, all. This is Damini, co founder of We Make Scholars. I welcome you to yet another episode of our series Discover Study Abroad. Today, I have Priyanka here with me. Priyanka went to Germany as a student 6 years ago, and very interestingly, she was one of the recipients of Erasmus Plus Grant, which is one of the highly competitive scholarships globally. So, we are going to ask her very clearly how did she manage to get this scholarship, what were the different steps, so that you guys can know about it and apply for it. And also, Priyanka is one such students I've spoken to who actually never had to apply for a full-time job. Instead, companies reached out to her to hire her. Doesn't that sound very exciting? Yes, so by the end of the session, you would know how did she manage to do that, what extraordinarily great she did in her profile, so that companies started reaching out to her. So let's start this session, and you would know that by the end of this. So hi Priyanka, thanks a lot for taking time on a weekend and joining us for this session. It really means a lot, and I'm sure you're going to share wonderful information with my viewers. So Priyanka, before we start, can you give a brief introduction of yourself for my viewers?
yeah, sure, Damini. Thank you first of all for having me on this video, and I'm also very excited to share this information. So, my name is Priyanka, and I'm living in Germany for the past 6 years. And I moved here for my master's in information systems in the FAU Erlangen-Nuremberg University, which is a public university. After that, I got a job as a IT project manager at an automotive car maker, and since then I'm working there. Also, along with this, I make content about studying and working in Germany on my Instagram and YouTube channels, Wanderous Priyanka.
Great. So thanks a lot, Priyanka, for telling us this. And I can tell it to my viewers that, the content which you create on your channels, it's awesome and it's very detailed, when it comes to Germany, studying in Germany from a student's perspective. So Priyanka, one thing which, I want to start my questions with is the scholarship which you have received. So Erasmus Plus Grant, which is one of the most competitive scholarships globally, you are one of its few recipients. So I really want to ask you that, how difficult was it, and how many process and rounds you had to go through? How was the whole journey of applying to Erasmus Plus?
Yes, Erasmus Plus is a very interesting scholarship because you get to study in different countries along with your study program for which you are abroad, and you also get paid for it. So I really liked it, and the application process is quite normal. It's like your standard application procedure. If I would want to apply from India to Germany, what I would do, it was very similar to that. So I made SOP, I made my CV, I had my transcripts ready from my current university, and I also had my letters of recommendation. So all of this had to be submitted to a body in our college who was governing or managing these kind of applications, and that was it. So once you submit these applications, the committee will take a look at all the applicants who are there, their qualifications, especially their marks and academic performance, and based on that, they will be invited for an interview, face to face interview. And
Okay.
mostly in public universities, such kind of scholarships have their own committee or their own contact person, a chair or a professor who is managing this, so that's why it becomes easy to apply.
And so, Priyanka, thanks a lot for sharing us the information on Erasmus Plus. I'm sure there are a lot of people who want to apply for this scholarship. So, when people are applying for scholarships, the first question they ask us is, okay, what kind of a profile is required to be able to, win such a scholarship? So, can you tell me what was, your academic profile like, and did you had any work experience which you feel you might have helped you getting this scholarship?
So When I applied for this scholarship, I was in my second semester that time. And when I moved to Germany, I was a complete fresher. I did not have any experience. But until I went to my second semester, I already started a part time student job in a company. So that was my only experience that I had at the time of application. And that did not affect much to this scholarship. What affected was definitely the grades that I had, academic performance. And in my first and second semesters, I tried to maintain good grades in the subjects that mattered. Also, my marks in bachelor's, I would say it was 2.6 grade. So mostly 2.5 grade is a very good grade in Germany, but mine was not that good. So I think for this scholarship alone, it didn't matter much. And it was a part of my course also, of my master's course, to apply for this scholarship and to go abroad. It was a compulsory feature that we had to do. So I think it was judged in a totally different way compared to how standard scholarship, where there are thousands of applicants applying, they they are being judged.
Okay, got it. Priyanka, just would you, is it possible for you to add on that how much was the amount of the scholarship which you received? As in, like, what all it covered?
It covered just monthly grants, so I think it was around 6 to 700 euros per month, and it was given, I think, for a maximum of 6 months. But for me, like I said, that I would be going for 4 months, so that's why it was given for 4 months.
Got it, got it. So, Priyanka, another aspect, which I found very interesting and I really wanted to ask you over this call. You did one semester at VSC Prague, and then you did 3 semesters at FAU Germany, which is, studying across Europe is like a dream come true for any student. So, how was the whole experience of, studying at actually two different places?
Yes, through this scholarship, I got to study in two different countries, Germany and Czech Republic. So it was definitely a very interesting experience and a different concept that I did not hear about this when I was in India. So I was really excited about this. Also, I found that even though Germany and Czech Republic are neighboring countries, still there was so much difference in their cultures, in their teaching methods, exam methods, the kind of lifestyle or the quality of life that is there in both countries. I really found a big difference. Also, one interesting thing that I found, I don't know how relevant it is for all students, but driving license cost. Like, I did my driving license in Germany for around 3000 plus euros. But if I would have done that in Prague, and if I would have known that before, it would have cost me just 350 euros or 500 euros mostly. Like, it is very cheap to do certain things in other countries. So I think if you're planning to go abroad, always look for such things and plan everything in advance so that you save money in certain aspects along with the abroad experience that you're having. So it becomes a win-win for both sides.
Okay. So the driving license, if you get it in Prague, you can use it across Europe, is what I'm assuming, in Czech Republic, right?
Yes, you can use that across Europe.
Okay, got it. So Priyanka, another question, as you mentioned in between that, by the time you applied for this scholarship, you already started your part-time job, right? So how easy is it to find a part-time job, and what kind of jobs did you do actually while you were studying?
So, finding part time jobs, especially in companies, is not that easy. When I was a student, I worked in four different positions in two different companies. And it was all technical related jobs, so not some odd jobs. And that was my focus because I did not have any experience. I moved as a fresher, so I always had this fear that maybe if I don't get experience, I won't get a full time job. So I was very focused on building my profile in such a way that I could work in companies, I could get exposure of the German work culture, and get jobs there. So first thing I found that German was very much required. So from the day one that I landed in Germany, my focus was learning German and making my profile strong for the job market that I'm applying. Second thing, I found that technical skills are a lot in demand. So in my first and second semesters, I chose subject which were more technically focused, and which could help me get jobs faster and easier. Also, third aspect in getting part-time jobs is the location of your university. Because I studied in Erlangen, Nuremberg, there are loads of companies there. It is like the headquarters of Adidas, Puma, Scheffler, these companies. Plus there's a big startup culture in Nuremberg also. So finding part-time job was not much difficult if you had other skills in your profile. But in other cities there can be a problem where there are not many companies or not many technical companies, or there are too many students compared to the amount of jobs that you have. So all these factors play a huge role when trying to find a part-time job in Germany.
Okay. Got it. Priyanka, in between, you mentioned that you were a little scared that you may not be able to get a full-time job because you moved to Germany without any work experience. So, do you think that these kind of jobs which you did in companies, which I, as you said, and I know that it's very difficult to find. So, do you think that help you finding a full-time job after your studies, and how was the whole process for that?
Yes, Damini, of course, that helped a lot. Like I said, I did a huge research about the job market that I'm applying, about the skills that are required, about the kind of interviews that are taken, or what do they actually want from us, from freshers or new joinees. So from that I realized that data science or learning Python or data visualization softwares was in huge demand back in 2016 and 2017, even now. And that's why I focused more on these things. Also, my first working student job was in logistics department. It was just a normal job, like normal project management kind of activities. I had to support them in that. Then I upskilled myself with data analytical skills, and I applied in the same company at a different work student job, which was into data science. So that way I got data science job. I learned more about this subject. Because of this job I got a master thesis in the same department, so that was my third job where I was getting paid to write master thesis in a company. And my fourth job was again into product management, where it was a tie-up between our professor's chair, and a company outside, which is one of the largest consulting companies in Germany. And there I helped the main product owner in his daily activities of managing the product, managing requirements, user stories, talking to different customers. So I think all of this made my profile really strong and more relevant to the job market, to the skills that were required in the job market at that time. And that's how I landed a full time job. So I did not start applying for full time jobs at all. In my third semester, I got invite from an HR to apply for a position of project manager, and they took my interviews and they saw that I have experience of automotive companies. So my first company was Scheffler, and the second was a consulting MSG. So they saw that they are working with these two companies, and I have experience of working and understanding the culture of these companies. Plus, I also have the technical skills what they are looking for. So that kind of made the whole profile complete. And I also said that from day one I was focusing on German. So until my third sem I was done with B1 level, which is a fluent level to start working. And all of these things, so it was a completely German position. And all of these things played a major role for me to get the job without even applying, without approaching any company. Like there were three different companies which approached me for jobs, and I chose the automotive one.
Okay. Awesome, Priyanka. I think that was, that's a very nice way of finding a job. I think that is something which everyone should do. So, even, other people I spoke to, other students, they always spoke about, having good German language, skills. So, as you also, focused on that, B1 level you were done, as you mentioned. So, I think that is something which really adds value. And as you mentioned, you did, these part time jobs in the company, and that really, you didn't have to go through the struggle of finding a full-time job. I think that's something which everyone who is watching us today should probably follow, because I think that's the right way to go about it. And when companies are approaching you, and you don't really have to go out and find a
Yeah,
job. So yeah,
yeah,
so that
even
was
today,
wonderful.
like the
So
skills that I have developed over time, living in Germany or working here, even today, my LinkedIn is full of HR requests asking for different kind of jobs for project manager roles or senior project manager roles. So it's like it depends on your profile. You have to really make your profile strong. You should know how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. You should know what skills are in demand, what certifications are in demand, and which one should you do so that you get the job faster, based on also your previous work experience, if that can in some way help you get a job. This is very important to do a research of the job market where you want to get a job.
okay. Yeah, I think that's brilliant information for, people who are watching us today. So, thanks Priyanka for, providing us the information on the job market and, how you went through this whole journey. So, my last question to you before we wrap this session is that, when people are applying for scholarships, it's a very disappointing journey, because, you get a lot of rejections also. And you got, this scholarship Erasmus Plus. So, I really want you to probably share some tips with our viewers that, how should they stay motivated, and how should they apply, how should they stay motivated when they are applying for the study abroad scholarships?
Okay. Yeah, this is very important question and things that people should keep in mind while applying for scholarship, because it's not easy. I would definitely agree on point. It's not easy to get a scholarship and to study in different countries. So first of all, I would say the question number one is, do you want to do this? So not just getting a scholarship, but studying in different countries, because one major reason is, if I'm studying in Germany right now, I'm registered in Germany for, let's say, 3 semesters, that is 1.5 year, and I plan that I want to go fourth semester abroad. That means I have to deregister from Germany and register in another country. So if you are someone who is focused on getting PR faster, then this is not the right thing or the right approach for you to study in a different country. Because when you deregister and you come back, then your count of this 48 months or 4 years of PR starts from zero again. So you should
Okay.
really be sure that you want to do this. Or if you don't want to do this, then you should try to find scholarship which aid your fees or your living cost in the same country that you're living in. For example, Deutschland Stipendium. That's a very good scholarship where you don't have to leave Germany, and you also get some 300 euros, I think, per month or per semester to do your studies. So that can be a better option if PR is a very important criteria for you. Or you should also see that, can I go to this country for just 1 month maybe and do the learning agreements there, or maybe just study one subject and come back, so that way you don't have to deregister from this Germany and just experience the culture or the study for 1 month and come back. You can travel maybe back and forth if it is close by. For example, in my case, Nuremberg and Prague are just 5 hours away, so I could catch a bus today, go there, stay there for 5 days, and come back on the weekend. So that could also be one case. So you should really be sure what kind of scholarship you want, why do you want that, and do you really need it. So in my case, I thought that back in 2016, like, I was naive and young, and I had no clue that scholarship money is important, you should save money and all that. I thought, I have blocked account, I have my living expenses, why do I need so much money? So I did not try to research much. So that was one mistake from my side. So I would suggest everyone to do good research about scholarship, because it is possible that there are hundreds of scholarship available, and from that 80 require fluent German skills. For example, DART scholarships, they require like B1 or B2 level of German. Some of them require, maybe 10 of them would require 2 years of work experience. So from 100, 90 are already gone if you are like me, who has no German skills and you're a fresher, and you're just left with 10 options, and from that I don't know how many apply to you. So always do a research
Yeah.
beforehand and see how you can build your profile in such a way that when you apply for the scholarship you will get it. So always focus on your marks, your German skills, your work experience. See how much weightage each of this criteria has and try to build your profile in such a way that you get that. And
Mm. Mm.
third point I would like to say
Okay.
is SOP. SOP is statement of purpose or your letter of motivation. It plays a major role for you to get scholarship because it describes about your ambitions, your plans, your
Mm.
objectives of doing this semester abroad or scholarship that you want. Why do you want to study this course at all? Do you want to research in future or just want to save money or you are economically weak? So all that should be very clearly mentioned in your SOP. If it is really interesting for the other person to read or the admissions committee to understand your profile, to understand your problems, and to understand that you are really the deserving person, then half your job is done. So writing a strong SOP is like very important when applying for scholarships.
So I
And
think Priyanka, that was like, it covered almost everything which, had to be there for people when they're applying for scholarships. So as you said that, research, I think even I keep telling in my videos that researching about scholarships, that what all is available is the most important thing. And I think even when I was going abroad, I faced the same challenge that, finding scholarships becomes like it's a whole ocean of information, and picking of what you are eligible for is actually the most difficult part. And I think that's what we make scholars solve. But I'm not going to talk about that in this video because there's a lot of information on that already. So another thing, as you mentioned about SOP, I think that's another thing which probably I also want to add a point on, that even when I was applying for scholarships, they do ask you that, okay, let's say if it is an Indian government funded scholarship, they ask you, okay, how will you, come back and add value to your country? And also, if it is a university based scholarship or a foreign government based scholarship like the ones which you have got, they do ask you that, why should you get it? Why you out of all the applications which they have got? So I think they should be able to justify the need, or like why you, right? So I think that story has to be very clear on the SOP. So yeah, so thanks for that very clear information. So Priyanka, thanks a lot for sharing this information. It was very informative video, and I'm sure people who thought it was long when they started watching this video are probably very happy right now with the amount of information you have shared with us. So thanks again for taking our time and coming for this session even when you're not very well, and you still managed to talk and give this information. Thanks again.
thank you, Damini. Also, from my side, I would like to thank you to share my information because many students like me, they are not aware of what opportunities are there abroad or how we can save money or what all things we can do or how at all can I get a job in company. That's what everyone wants, but they have no idea where to start, what to do. So I hope that the information in this video will be able to guide them and to help them start their journey abroad. And also
Yeah.
thank you to you and We Make Scholars for making this collab and just letting me share the information that I have. All the best for all your future endeavors.
Great, Priyanka. Thank you so much. I hope it reaches everyone, who, and they come back to you and follow your channels as well. Yeah, thank you.